Alright, I got the general elevation of the gun set up. I also have one purple LED in there so you can get the general idea of what I'm going for. Granted, if you saw in the previous videos, you know exactly what I'm doing with the LEDs. Now, since these ones are a lot bigger, I start to really make sure I have these guns actually pointing fully straight with the turret itself. So I'm still going to be doing that for a little while to make sure all guns are pointing straight. I want to see if I build some type of a guide that I can just mount to the side here, that I can just place right next to the guns and make them properly straight. But for right now, they're just kind of put in there so I can get the proper elevation. Though I am pretty sure I am going to manipulate some of these guns to get them straight and true and whatnot. But at least the elevation is correct. And also, since these guns are significantly bigger, what I want to do is I want to make sure these guns are actually pointed center at certain points. Because when it comes to the anime con, most people are going to be about like this distance apart from her when they take their pictures. So I want to make sure all four barrels are pointed straight at the camera. So I'm most likely going to set my camera up like this or something like this, and I'm going to manipulate the turrets when I get the servos to make sure the actual barrels are pointed directly. Because as you can tell right now, they're kind of just either which way, in like World of Warships where you fire, they just go derp. But yeah. But at least I finally got the gun barrels on. You can get more general idea of what this thing looks like. It's big. Quick update, just got myself some black spray paint and 50 feet worth of speaker wire that I've been using for basically the wiring of a lot of the stuff I build. Tomorrow what I'm going to do is I'm going to wire in all the LEDs, but I'm not going to actually place them in there. I'm not going to hot glue them in there or anything yet, because I want to make sure again I have the barrels properly straightened, and make sure that they're properly that looks right when it comes to actually being looked at directly. So with that said, I'm going to go to bed. You know the routine by now. Heater's on. It's cold in my kitchen. So I just got all the lights set up in the guns. I haven't properly mounted everything in yet because I'm still in the process of figuring out if I need to move the guns in or out a little bit more so they're straight. And I also need to see how they actually look when the guns are all pointed directly at a camera. So with that said, I'm going to do that a little later. But right now what I want to do is I want to center up the steering wheel. I want to center up the servo for my steering for my little truck. Now, as you can tell, if I bring the transmitter over, I had to trim all the way to the left to get it to drive straight. Now I'm getting tired of that, so I had to build this stupid rig system and also hot glue some wood right here to make sure the front wheels don't move, and also that the car doesn't move back when I actually go in there to unscrew the little screw holding the arm onto the servo and whatnot. But hopefully I'll be able to actually get this car finally to steer straight without having to freaking have this all the way to the left. So I'm going to get all that done and then I'll come back. Alright, and with all that done, hopefully now if I need to trim this thing some more, I'll have a lot more leadway to actually do trimming so this thing truly is going straight. But that's been bugging the crap out of me for months now. I'm happy I finally just decided to just go in there and just straighten this thing out. So with that said, now I'm actually going to see if it is actually straight, and then I'll come back with this thing. There's still a bit more trimming I need to do to the steering of the car, but this is what I want to do with the turrets. With the original small ones, I was able to keep them just basically in line with each other since they're so small. With these ones, I had to put them a little bit more closer to where if you actually take a picture of them and you're looking at them in the proper way, all guns should be bearing directly at the person taking the picture. This is what I wanted to do when I initially made this thing. Now, this is also good. Now, this also goes into how cameras record light. And with the way this camera is designed, if I have it at basically eye level where I'm at, to where you can actually see where you can see Kongou and everything else, the guns don't look like they're actually bearing down on the actual camera when I'm taking a look at them, and they're bearing down right at me. And of course, that's because of the way I have them set up. Now, the reason why that is because the lens on the camera right here is curved. So the light's going to shine differently into a lens than what it does in real life, which makes it really fun to properly display how the guns actually look. But with that said, if you can actually see that they're all pointed at an angle inwards. And what I went and did is I did some markings. This was the original marking I had, to where they're just a little bit more pushed in, and it didn't look right. So I'm still in the process of figuring everything out, but I do have markings so I can make sure that I can actually have the proper placements for these guns. I have markings. I have one marking on each gun so I can know where everything is. But this is more or less what I wanted to do, and hopefully it gets a bit more warmer outside, so I can actually go out and spray paint in the shed later. But at least I got the general placement for the turrets all figured out. This should be like, what, part 5, I believe? I think I'll leave it here since it's going to be a while before I can actually do anything. My parents kindly ordered the last few bits I need for this thing. And even if those come in, I really won't be able to do much other than probably just set in the servos and whatnot. But I really want spray paint, but as you can tell, it is just at the temperature for spray painting, and I don't know if you can tell or not also, it's raining outside, so I don't think I'll be able to really do anything spray paint wise for probably like a week or so. I'll most likely be able to upload one more video in about a few days of me going through the whole process of getting the servos for the torch setup and whatnot. But for right now, I'm just going to end this video here with this. I finally got done adding on the back plate. Now since this is supposed to be covered up, since this is going to be covered up most of the time at the conventions, it really doesn't matter how good this looks as long as it has some form of reinforcements. And of course I have this little pull tab here with a little rare-earth magnet here and there to keep it closed for the most part. And if I want to get in there, do maintenance and whatnot, connect wiring and everything else, I can easily do that. I already got the battery pack for the LEDs already installed. When the parts come in now that my parents order for me, I'll be making a small little junction box like right here or so. That'll basically be where all the wires for the lighting and the servos will connect to and whatnot. But for right now, again, there's really not much for me to do since I can't spray paint outside, and this is about as far as I can get until the parts come in. Though there is one more thing I gotta do, is I gotta make a placement for my iPhone 4, because I'm actually gonna be using this to play my music. And since this thing isn't Bluetooth, even though I can make it Bluetooth, I really want to have this thing just do a hard line to the actual amplifier. So I gotta figure out exactly where I want to actually place my and now I want to figure out where exactly I want to place this. I don't know where I'm going to place it yet, but for right now, but again, I don't have to worry about that for a while anyways. But this is also something that's on the back of my mind, figuring out where exactly I'm going to put this thing. Heck, I might actually just make this thing go sideways like this so I can have a charging cable and the aux cable. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I might just get a Bluetooth, one of those little Bluetooth adapter things. I can just make this thing run off Bluetooth also. I don't know yet. But, yeah. I'll just end this video here so I don't ramble. Actually, one more thing before I end the video. I want to show how I store everything. So right now, since I'm still working on everything, I'm storing the main base over here. I was initially storing it with the side panels off and placed right here, and the turrets on top of that. But I found out that's easier to store if I have it like this, where I just have the sides on and the turrets on top of that. I want to eventually somehow make it so I can fit this thing inside my closet, or at least parts of it inside my closet, but I don't know if that's possible. I'll show you my closet in a second. But like I said, I keep this here. I keep the cuck truck here. I normally keep this in the closet, but since I'm bringing Kongou in and out of my room nearly every single day while I'm working on this thing to test measurements and whatnot, I also want to have this here so I can easily just slip it on if I need to test measurements for something like that, make sure that the parts of this don't collide with this and whatnot. But yeah. So that's where I keep all that. I have some of my other crap in here, like some of the circles I use to get the proper measurements for the turrets and whatnot, a few other little things. I believe this is my first cuck truck body. Yes, it is. I destroyed the second one when I rebuilt the body again for the third time. I get a full blackout right here. And when it comes to everything else, I basically keep everything that's can fit inside this box in here. Jumbo popsicle sticks, barbecue skewers. I don't know why the tissue paper is there, but it's there. Headphones from when I'm listening to Bluetooth. Currently, I've been using my my iPhone 4 for music, so there, I guess, or I normally take it to my room when I go to bed. And for the hot glue guns, I just keep them like this on a piece of paper. It's duct taped to the table. Trying to lessen the damage to the table than there already is. I mean, the table's pretty freaking damaged as is. And I just chuck the cables back there, and normally I'll take this thing into my bedroom so I can actually use it when I wake up. Because first thing I do when I wake up is go onto my computer, and usually it's pretty freaking cold by my feet, so I turn that sucker on. So yeah. And of course, this is what it's like from my closet. I removed the boxes I had here for my telescope. I believe I have those in the attic now. So I need to also make a cover for the telescope so it doesn't get dusty and whatnot. Because I really can't use it when it's freaking cloudy as heck. So yeah, there's that. But there's really not much room in my closet. I could probably make room for the little side pieces and the turrets in here, but that's about it. So yeah. Of course, Patty's on my bed being Patty. And my stinking turtle's constantly asking for food, even though I just fed his sorry ass 2 hours ago. That's the one thing I'm definitely not going to miss when I go to rehome this nuisance of a turtle. Not that I don't hate owning this guy. He's just very annoying when it comes to food, even though you just fed his butt an hour ago. Well, 2 hours ago, but whatever. Okay, I'm going to stop before I start rambling about my stupid turtle.